My name's Tracy, aka Wonder Woman. So I decided I've been playing around with starting a YouTube channel, kind of vlogging thing. I've had an exciting 47 years of life. Lots has happened. I feel like I have a lot to share with the world. Recently, since about March, I've been dealing with this whole breast cancer thing. So I've been doing a lot of research and came across some amazing women who have decided to kind of tell their story. You know, they're good, they're bad, they're ugly. But in the process, I noticed there was kind of a few things that kind of got left out of every single story that I found, bits and pieces here and there. So I decided that I was going to kind of tell my story from about a 3-week pre-surgery state, because since March, there's been a lot of emotions, but I can honestly say since the surgery date has been set, it has been a whirlwind of emotions. Without going into too much detail, my mother is a breast cancer survivor, having had a double mastectomy as well as being on a chemo pill for 10 years. Both her sisters died of breast cancer or breast cancer that spread. My grandfather, my mother's father, died of pancreatic cancer. My grandmother and great-grandmother died of breast cancer. And I have a brother who is dealing with melanoma, some pretty serious stuff, all of which typically goes with the BRCA1, BRCA2 gene. Lo and behold, my mother and I have both been genetically tested. Neither one of us have it. That's something I'll probably get into maybe after my recovery to kind of fill in some blanks, because there's been a whole lot of stuff happening with that. But I wanted to start today. I am just under 3 weeks pre-surgery for a double mastectomy with reconstruction. And let me just say that last week I probably couldn't have accomplished this. I wasn't quite there guts-wise. You know, I can be a pretty social person, but I'm also can be very socially awkward. I don't like talking about myself, telling about myself, but it's something that I just feel needs to be done. Last week was super emotional. This week has been pretty emotional as well. Trying to figure out, most of my children are grown. We have one daughter that's still at home, that will be 18 soon and is in her senior year of high school and getting ready to go off to college. My husband and I married later in life after failed marriages. So we got married with 6 kids between the two of us. So, you know, next year we're going to start going into that honeymoon phase, that phase where we're empty nesters, but for the first time in our marriage without children. So this has been a lot to take in, because this is kind of changing that first year of our empty nesting as we were planning it. We moved to a different state about 12 years ago. So basically here I have 3 of my adult children, and they're married and on their own. And then I have the almost 18-year-olds I was just talking about still at home. And my husband, who has a full-time job that brought us to another state 12 years ago. All of my other family lives out of state, not that it's a huge family. Sadly, most of them have passed of some form of cancer. So trying to figure out how to maneuver a double mastectomy and all the things I'm not going to be able to do while trying to maintain some normalcy and not necessarily bring anybody in, has been quite a challenge. I've had to take a step back and realize that I've cared for all of my children, even as adults in some form or another, and that maybe it's just time I lean on them. But they're all younger adults, so they have their own families, they have their own jobs. Some of them are going to school full-time on top of working full-time, and it's been quite a challenge to try to figure out how much I can do or be alone without inconveniencing everyone else's life. And along with that, I've had to have appointments, pre-op appointments, and talk about things having to do with my surgery. I kind of had a breakdown yesterday. I had to go pick up my 2 mastectomy bras. and bring them, so I can bring them to my plastic surgeon the next appointment I have before my surgery. That was a little overwhelming. People saying they're going to pray for me and all that. It's like all these little things that happen just are making it more and more real. There's a lot of things that I'm probably going to go into at some point over the next few weeks. Things that are really on my mind. The fact that my husband is going to be my main caregiver. And as we all know, women are vain. You know, the last year I've put on weight. I've had a lot of other things happening in the other parts of my life that have challenged me physically and emotionally. And so that's been kind of difficult for me to grasp, that this man who I want to always feel beautiful to, perhaps is going to see me in a not so beautiful state. And will he look at me like that again? And I know that's personal, and I'm not going to get tons into that because that's my feelings, and obviously he's not expressed any of that. He's fine with it. Also, my children. This is probably, even for my adult children, going to be the most vulnerable of a position they've ever seen me in. You know, I'm kind of the rock of the family. I take care of everybody. I bend over backwards no matter what it does to myself to take care of people. And they've not seen me in such a vulnerable position. So I think that's going to be, I've been dealing a lot with the emotions attached to that. That being said, again, I'm about 2.5 weeks pre-surgery. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm scared shitless. I'm scared shitless of the pain, the recovery, the what ifs. I found out that I'm not going to be able to have nipple sparing. That's been a huge deal for me. I've been researching, asking, trying to find information about, you know, the options, and also trying to combine that with what I'm going to feel comfortable with, you know. And that's been difficult. Fortunately, that is down the road. That's kind of like the last step. So I've got months ahead of me before that. So I'm trying really hard to kind of put that on the back burner. And when I have a spare moment, do some research and kind of really just start kind of trying to figure it out. Because even though it's a long way away, I want to know that whatever decision I make, I go into it 100% knowing that that's what I want. At least at that time. Let's face it, we can all make choices and eventually change our mind, but I want to say to all women, no matter what phase you're in of something like this with a double mastectomy, it's okay to feel whatever you're feeling. I've had moments where I've cried over the dumbest things. The fact that I'm not going to be able to be the one to cook dinner for my family for I don't know how long, and then I've laughed about, hey, at least I'll have a new set of tatas, you know, by the time I roll in 50, you know, and they'll be fun and perky and not the ones that have been used and abused for 47 years. So feel it, acknowledge it, talk about it. Don't be ashamed of it, because when this first all started, I was ashamed of it. I tried to hide it. I tried to hide when I was tearful. I tried to decide when it was appropriate for other people to know I was upset about something. And then I just let it go. I just decided, you know what? I don't owe anybody an explanation as to, from one minute to the next, what's going to make me cry, laugh, or just shut down. And that's okay. Do it. Go for it. I am going to try to post at 2 weeks, 1 week, and then my plan is when I have the surgery. And this was one of the niches that I saw kind of missing. You know, women would take days off, if not a week in between, with my husband's help. And I've told him to, when he comes home every day or when he's home, when it gets to be a certain time, to remind me. But I am going to try really hard to post every day for the first 30 days after my surgery, from when I come out of the operation and every day after that for 30 days straight, so that everybody can see the ups and downs day to day. Not just me filming on a good day and telling you how I felt the last 5, but really showing you. So you're going to see all sorts of looks. Obviously, anyone who's gone through this, or if you haven't, I've done enough research to know showers, washing my hair, things like that are kind of not going to be there. Next week, my video, I'm going to try to focus on some of the things that I did to pre-plan. Some research that I did, some websites that I went to, things that I am getting for myself, getting prepared for myself and my family, in hopes that that's going to help someone else out there when it's their turn to go through something like this. So without further ado, I'm going to sign off. I hope you guys have a great day. Please like and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys next week. Thanks. Bye.